Today's exercises format is very different than what we've been doing in the past.
I'll tell you, it was pretty bad.
So I think I fucked up.
Didn't make a total fool of myself.
I believe in you.
Welcome to the Blox, the greatest show on entrepreneurship.
Oh my God.
Shit's about to get real.
It is amazing.
Each season we house startups who live together while going through a formal startup accelerator.
Entrepreneurs from across the country.
There's 60 other people here that have good businesses that are here for a reason.
Oh shit, this is crazy.
They're competing in a series of workshops, one-on-one consults, pitches, and exercises where they'll be ranked from first to last.
My name is Valerie Dominy. My company is Novel Ideas, and I am from Dickinson, Texas. COVID really messed with the public education setup. We saw a lack of teachers and a lack of access to good quality content. So I plan to develop videos teaching engaging lessons for all secondary English in the state of Texas. I still live in the small town that I grew up in. I am married to my high school sweetheart husband. We've been together for 17 years. We have 2 kids. My daughter Avery is 10 and my son Everett is 5. So I've been in the thick of parenthood for a while. I love collecting vinyl records and books. What kind of English teacher would I be if I weren't in a bookshop constantly? My dad. He was diagnosed with pulmonary fibrosis over a year ago. I had to step away from teaching to take care of him full time, and sadly he passed in October. So jumping back in to this, I took it as a sign from him to just do something, for myself and take this chance. So I just felt it was him kind of pushing me along and saying, like, give it a shot, If there's any time, now's the time.
My name is Lynn Lambert. I live in Chappaqua, New York, and my company's name is Mapped Gear. Mapped Gear is a new concept in the $22 billion promotional products industry. We think that we can help your company by doing something more than just slapping your logo on a product. We actually make a custom map showing your location or your locations. It's part of your company's DNA, and we create that. It's an interesting time of my life because my husband is retired and I have no desire to retire at all, but I'm very fortunate that he's there and supportive of me. I'm an empty nester, so I don't have childcare issues to worry about anymore. I have a son who's 33 years old and lives in Seattle now. But I also still get a thrill out of seeing people wearing my apparel that we make, carrying one of the bags we make. I literally, sorry, it's true, I stop people on the street and say, oh, that's my bag, and they're like, what?
Okay, we have to talk about fundraising at least one time during every season of the Blox because it's such an important and crucial aspect of entrepreneurship, and almost worse, the worst reason of it is it's such a stereotypical thing that people think entrepreneurship is and has to be.
It's so critical for entrepreneurs to understand early stage fundraising principles because that's the hardest time to bring in money to your company. It's the most critical.
It's not taught. We're taught about tech, we're taught about automations, we're taught about all sorts of stuff in different programs, accelerators, all sorts of stuff that's like this or similar to this. And no one really talks about fundraising.
I think the biggest myth with early stage fundraising is that you have to give up a percentage of your equity for an investment.
We think because of shows like Shark Tank and because every fucking panel on entrepreneurship ever since the dawn of time, it sits around and talks about fundraising incessantly. It gaslights people like you into thinking that there are normal, traditional, small business fundraising options that are available to you when there's not. Now, these are like the stages of business. You know, first we start out, we're just watching the tank. We're aspiring. We know that we have that entrepreneurial dream, but we don't really know what we're going to do about it. We don't have we have not gotten to that aha moment yet. And then eventually we do get that aha moment. We do have an idea for what it is that we want to build a business around. And we found that problem that we want to set out to solve. Then we do the build and test and tweak stage. Basically the lean startup for months and months, if not years and years, as we're getting into product market fit. And then after product market fit, we are in the growth stage where we are allowed to spend money like drunken sailors because we have the answers to what used to be guesses. When you are in entrepreneurship, changes what stuff we qualify for.
When you are matters because you have to be able to self-reflect and be honest with yourself and where you are in your journey.
We're in the growth stage with our business at Smiley Aesthetics, and it determines what type of investors we should be looking at versus in earlier stages, like idea stages.
Sometimes people are like, why does Beta Blox have blocks, alpha blocks, beta blocks, building blocks? And the answer is because when you're at changes so drastically about the types of things you need. As you're getting more and more traction, you qualify for more and more stuff. That's just what it boils down to. And so traction is the key that unlocks it all.
Traction is very important to investors because I mean, that's how you show them that you are investable.
It also, gives them an indication if there is either currently a product market fit or a potential for it. So being able to describe your business and what metrics you use to measure traction is important for investors.
Raising money from friends and family. Let's talk about the pros and cons.
Those small checks count, whether it's $500, $1,000 from 10 of your surrounding family and friends in your network. That's your startup money.
If you don't have the savings, I mean, your first thing to go to is to go to your families and friends like, hey, I'm trying to start this business. Hopefully you got a good support system. So, I mean, it's very crucial.
Okay, so we've got the power of small checks, as in getting money from friends and family in these small amounts because they want to support you and possibly get cut in various ways is possible. Taking money from anyone has ramifications on the relationship. This is one of my favorite, bartering.
For me, bartering my services, for example, fitness, for videography.
Bartering is great, in my opinion, for all stages of business, but early on, it's an amazing way to not only cut your expenses down, but my big pillar is showcasing the partnerships aspect of it.
So there's a guy that went through Beta Blox, and he has a company that basically is like the Uber for helping students go and get their textbooks. He needed a piece of software that did this, and it would be a piece of software that, quite frankly, would cost somewhere in the neighborhood of, it was like $150,000 or $200,000. And so what he did was he found a software developer that had a couple of problems that Daniel personally could solve. So what Daniel did is every single day he went over to the software developer's house and he did personal training and he held him accountable and he helped clean his house and he took him on camping trips and he introduced him to friends and he helped him out with the stuff that this guy was struggling with. And after 9 to 12 months, we had a $250,000 piece of software that was deploying textbooks to students at campuses across the United States. And so while other humans out there are like, how do I get my hands on all this money to pay to get this app off the ground? Daniel didn't do that. He figured out a way. So I want to talk about structuring a financing deal.
Essentially, lots of different ways that you can raise the capital you need in order to either get your business off the ground or to the next level. So personally, in my past, I've done several different deal structures for fundraising.
So depending on who you're pitching to, every investor is going to want some kind of a return on their money. Maybe family might give you a gift. But if you have a friend that has $10,000 and they don't care when they get paid, they just want some mailbox money over time, you might do a loan agreement with them or a profit sharing, so they're getting a little bit of cash along the way.
When you mirror your deal structure to the motivation of the instructor, you've taken that instructor's personality into account. You've taken into account, how much of a risk they're willing to take, how involved they want to be. You kind of tailor the deal that you're going to present to them to their personality.
What might happen is, sure, you might get that $3,000 check from your college dorm roommate. She went off, became a very successful lawyer. She can write that type of check. Great, $3,000 gift. Or that same person might look at this and say, you know what? I very much so buy into what you're doing, and I obviously buy into you, and I can afford to write a larger check. Maybe instead of gifting you $3,000, can we make an investment in some way? Like, what does that look like if I gave you $20,000? And now we go back to those questions that we asked before. What are the motivations? What's their timeline? What's their risk appetite? We have to melt in those questions. There is also a, and this can be in another class, like the angel investment class or the venture capital class, because this is a little bit on the complicated side. But I want you guys to know what it is.
So a convertible note is an equity structure, and it's appropriate when the investor and the business owner disagree on the valuation of the property. Essentially, you would agree on all the other terms, and they would be able to give you the cash, for instance, $100,000, but you wouldn't know how much equity that gets in your company until a future valuation is done. For instance, a second fundraising round where the final valuation is set, and then the initial equity is established at that final valuation number.
The main points that I want to get across are, this is the structure that you would use anytime, and this would be the part to memorize. Just be like, okay, if I reach this impasse in this time of my life, call Wes or Google what a convertible note is. Here's the impasse. You have agreed with your investor on every single term except for valuation. She thinks you're worth hardly anything, you think you're worth a lot, and that's the only term, everything else is perfect. You then use a convertible note, and we let them mediate it 2-3 years later when the business is further along.
You know, traditionally as a society, fundraising for entrepreneurs has essentially been glamorized. You know, we use the Shark Tank example, and we talked about how traditionally most people only think of banks or friends and family for fundraising.
I'm Chloe Millard. I'm the founder and owner of M4 Advertising. I am based out of Dallas, Texas, and we are a full service marketing and now PR firm. We are luxury marketing, which means that we specifically target affluent markets, and we most recently just branched off into PR. You know, my day-to-day life is just everything I do is just for my babies. And so I do have 3 kids under 5, and with that being said, life is obviously crazy. You know, all of my passions and hobbies and things that I love doing, I mean, in the past, like I'm a self-published author, I've written books, I was a yoga teacher for 7 years for fun. You know, I got certified. I've started nonprofits for children's charities, and you know, throughout my life, I've always, you know, done things for the experience. And so, just my personality, like I love that kind of dynamic change. But the one constant, you know, I have every day is just coming home to my kids.
So, what did you think of the fundraising class today?
It was interesting for sure. I've been worried about this class since like before I even got here, just seeing past seasons. So, and I don't know too much about fundraising before this, so it was definitely scary to get into it, but I feel like the way that he was describing everything in the class, it was easy enough to understand even for like you're not that far along in your business.
Right, yeah. I feel like it was a good topic for the people that are starting out with their business, and we really haven't had to try to do anything like that yet.
Yeah.
So like now I'm kind of realizing like there are a lot of different ways to raise money, and I never really thought about all of them. I just thought like a loan or
like I need an investor and I need a loan, I need money. But there's like for me doing cakes, like I'm definitely not using bartering to my advantage how I should be. Like last night I was like, I'm gonna go, like Facebook posts are really like how people communicate in my area.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I just need to make a post and say like, I'm looking for a really good marketer that is looking to barter, and I will do cake, like whatever your range is, if it takes 2 cakes, if it takes 3 cakes, or something constant, maybe like a constant relationship with people in the area.
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Lisa Vasquez. I'm from Orlando, Florida, and my company is Butter Bliss Bake Shop. I have a home bakery. I make custom cakes and desserts and kind of just do any occasion to help people celebrate all kinds of different things. Outside of entrepreneurship, I like to spend a lot of time with my family, kind of do different stuff. I have a 4-year-old son, so half of my day is with him. He only goes to school half the day, so I kind of squeeze in my work and then spend some time with him. Other than that, we like to kind of go out to eat and try different foods. Once in a while when I have time, try and get a motorcycle ride in with my boyfriend. Maybe, I've bartered with some people for stuff, but for bigger stuff like that, I feel like maybe I was just scared, it's gonna come off offensive, you don't want to pay for my services, you just want to give me something. But maybe more people would be open to bartering instead of exchanging money in that way.
Yeah, I think it just has to be the right situation, because I could see that being I mean, if someone approached me and was like, I'll give you cakes for your services, I'd be like, wait, what? But if I needed that and I had parties a lot, or I have kids and their birthday party, I'd be like, oh yeah, I love, and especially people that are really into that in particular. There's some people that just throw all out parties and they love that stuff, so.
Yeah, that's very true.
Today's exercises format is very different than what we've been doing in the past. Today's thing is 25% pop quiz, 75% whether you're able to look in the mirror and figure out when in entrepreneurship you are in an effort to answer the pop quiz questions correctly.
So the challenge was actually a pop quiz.
Today's exercise, we were asked 5 questions that we had no idea what they were going to be, and we could not prepare at all.
I do think it's going to be a little difficult, but you have to remember, these people are getting information, they're trying to retain it in this class, and then they're being asked to talk about applying it, That's a lot of pressure.
Quantitatively, where are you at?
I would say I'm in the early stages. I am fairly new. I have not made any traction yet.
I am in the pre-launch stage, so I don't have many metrics outside of my social media following. I'm mainly just focusing on likes and engagement at this point because I'm so early on and only have about 200 followers.
I think I'm out the end of build, measure, and learn, and maybe product market fit, because I'm up to 270 houses a week that I've been servicing.
I'm currently in the idea phase. I need to continue to quantify the unquantifiable, so when I leave, I'm rolling out my MVP I developed here.
I am in the testing and tweaking stage.
The exercise was a little tricky. Some of them had been in business long enough to really have their numbers, to figure out what their actual valuation would be. And then we kind of had some folks where, maybe they launched in a couple of months ago, so they really weren't too clear on that.
We are at the part where we're ready to go. I can't think of the term, prime market value or whatever it is.
I'm at the test and trial stage.
I feel that I've hit product market fit.
To measure our current traction, we can look at our social media accounts with 600,000 followers on our TikTok. We're working on Instagram.
I think I would use our social media as one of them. Definitely our email list. We have 900 subscribers right now and it's growing each month.
I'm currently only using my social media following as my traction. This is where my initial product offering is going to go out to. It's admittedly very small. I've only got about 90 followers on Instagram and maybe 80 on Facebook.
Because of this amount of traction, what type of capital is realistically available at your stage?
Right now, I would be at the point of utilizing savings or going the friends and family route.
I think bartering is going to be one of my most important tools. Other than that, I'm thinking of the family ask for the donation/loan, or even crowdsourcing.
I would say 0. Realistically, at my stage, I'm too early to even be invested in or even looked at.
Let's see, I'd say it is a venture capitalist level almost.
Our revenue coming in, we're not in a position, or do we need any type of investment
What kind of capitals? I'm not sure how to answer that.
I can raise capital through asking my clients if they'll pay me in advance.
We are considering bartering. We're still early on. We also know that we can go after grants that are available. We can also look into business loans at this point.
At this stage, it's going to be crowdsourcing and funding, potentially a Kickstarter because people care about education, so I may be able to share my personal story and reach out to my web.
I also have the option of friends and family, sponsorships. I have credit cards available to me as well.
Honestly, we're not looking at an accelerator or an incubator. We are looking for a mentor.
Savings has been one that I put into creating our physical MVP product.
Some people nailed it, some people bombed it. 99.9% sure that the people who bombed it know who they are, and they knew quickly.
I'll tell you, it was pretty bad. I haven't awarded so many zeros as I did until today.
And because of where you're at, what is an acceptable amount of money to ask for at this stage?
I would use my savings first, and if I wouldn't spend more than like $5K on something, I wouldn't ask for it from my friends and family, of course.
I would say 100,000 would be the most.
Realistically, I think 25K.
So then it would be 150,000 for a 10% stake, and I would be going with convertible debt as my method of investment.
Well, I started from the ground up, so I didn't do any fundraising or anything, so I don't know if I would even ask for anything, but I guess if I did, it'd be 50,000 or
300,000 to 500,000.
5K.
$150,000.
$133,500.
$10,000 would change our business drastically.
At least $1 million.
An acceptable amount of money to ask for? None, really.
What things are you going to buy or invest in with this financing?
With my financing, the first thing I want to do is invest in software. And I would also love to buy some awesome swag t-shirts and engrave all my products.
I want to hire someone to build my website and help me put together a brand and marketing package and strategy.
Working in the kitchen is just not efficient, and having a proper clean workspace would be better.
So I would be investing in a salon space. I would also be investing in furniture, equipment.
My girl Vesper, not only is she killing it on the outfit situation every day, this is another day where she comes in prepared with these numbers and these figures and statistics, and she's on her game.
UV vertical wall printers that would turn over our installation time from weeks to days.
Purchased roughly $14,000 spent on inventory, another $5,000 to spend on marketing and improving my graphic design.
Janitorial equipment.
So we'd probably invest in creating a video campaign.
It'd be opening up brick and mortar locations. I'm gonna need some video equipment. I'm gonna need curriculum, which I can actually pull from a lot of already done curriculums.
Different pieces of software that are going to accelerate the ability to get the results that I'm capturing.
5 more portable bars.
I would do like a fleet of trucks and maybe somewhere that we can park all those trucks.
I want to find a way to finance bringing on more employees.
I need 1 or 2 virtual freelancers to help me with the basic writing and research, because right now I'm spending all of my time doing writing and not enough time doing lead generation.
We could easily get 2 more engravers, have way more inventory. We already have enough inventory to scale, but like after we're scaled, we can get more inventory.
Generally speaking, I'd say that not a lot of people have a great grasp of the fundraising concepts.
People, I think, are still struggling with money can come from anywhere. When you say you need capital or you need this money, where can you get it from? Bottom line is it's really hard to start anything without a little bit of money.
What milestones will that investment bring you to? And is it far enough along to get to the next stage of financing?
I feel like it's very much on an acceleration course towards reaching product market fit, especially since I have my MVP in hand. It is a physical product, it's sellable, but I don't have the data or traction to prove that I am product market fit yet.
I think we could get to the next stage, but we would really have to focus on optimizing everything, increasing profit margins so that we can demonstrate really good revenues for the next few years.
I don't want to say it's not hard to get to product market fit, but I know I'm not there yet, and I just need to get a little bit more traction to get there, and I do think I will be there.
I would say that in the next 2 to 5 years, yes, we will be ready to take on additional funding.
Without a doubt, we are at that stage where we are booked and we have 12 clients asking for murals, but we're not able to paint them fast enough.
That'll bring me to more scalability. It'll bring me to my passive income concept.
It's going to secure us up into the maturation stage.
Financing would absolutely help us to get to product market fit.
That level of investment would allow us to triple or quadruple our sales. Hi, I'm Victoria, and this is my husband, Mike. We are the co-owners of State 48 Engraving out of Mesa, Arizona.
State 48 Engraving is a laser cutting and engraving business that specialises in manufacturing placards and signs for the electrical, solar and construction industry. We also work on custom gift designs and products as well.
Outside of our business, we are really involved with our kids. We have 2 boys, and they are just wild. We love to hang outside. We're always with our neighbors, riding bikes, shooting hoops, playing soccer. I think we're here because our story is a little different. My husband just became a US citizen. I'm a former high school math teacher, and we're trying to do this business so that we can still spend time with our family and we're not confined to the constraints of a normal 9-to-5 job.
The biggest thing that I think came up over and over again is how do investors make money on their money? How could they lose their money? And sort of illustrating risk and downside, and really reframing people's thoughts into, if you were an investor, what would you want to hear? So it's clear that you know like how you'd spend funds, right?
Yes.
I'm not saying that like you're a drunken sailor, but it's more of like you have clear understanding of where that money needs to go.
Yeah.
And so it's not, to me, I haven't seen a real downside of like providing a range.
Got it.
Right. So if you understand that we would do X, Y, and Z, strategically, no, is it A, B, C, right? What order does that need to happen in? And when you present it, perception management, present it in the order of importance.
Importance, okay.
So if I need 50 grand to 100 grand, if I only get 50, I'm starting here. Right? And if I want to earn the second 50, then we do B and C.
Okay.
Right? So strategy-wise, again, you're telling them what's most important to you at that moment in time on how you'd spend that money.
Think about some of the things that you said that you need that you would, do with the 50K. Maybe you could barter with someone that could do those things.
Free access to any of my paid curriculums or the workshops or the boot camps that I have. My personal service, if I need a graphic designer, for example, and they have children, hi,
Exactly.
I can help polish your children and help build their confidence. Or if they themselves find that they're struggling in a particular area, I could offer my service to them in exchange for some things.
So you got to remember, one of the things that you have as far as bartering outside of your service is your target audience, the customers that you already have. So I would imagine that a majority of your customers that are signing up for either virtual or in person are parents. So there's probably somebody else here or wherever that they sell a completely different product or service, but they need to get it in front of more parents, which is what you have already. You may not want to sell your email list, but you could say, let me barter with you for whatever they have going on, and you could place maybe some type of ad in your next newsletter that's going out. I really wasn't able to pull out more information about just investments and things like that until the consultations. Honestly, I think they were a little bit confused about what the questions were because it was pop quiz time, so they were kind of caught off guard.
My conscious chef. You are a personal chef who focuses on the specific health and nutrition needs of your clients.
Correct.
Specifically.
Correct.
Tailored to their...
Yep, and it's all done in-home, in their kitchens. It's a convenience. It's a time saver, and it's also
You don't have to convince me. I'm already sold. Please come to my house.
Don't worry, I'll be training chefs and sending them all over the world, so good. Hi, my name is Justin Moldenhauer. I'm the owner of My Conscious Chef, LLC, and I do private chef work in Phoenix, Arizona. I started my company to help really do what food I think should do, which let thy food be thy medicine. So I started a business to help use food to help heal people, to help people reach their health goals. I love my dog. I'm a big gardener. My thumb gets greener every year, but big time gardening. I got a motorcycle. I like to get a little wild and do some daredevil stuff. But yeah, for the most part, I'm pretty laid back. I live a pretty quiet, introverted life, but whatever I do it really intensely.
you know, there's all of these, like we said, we're going to have a manager to manage and coordinate all of these things. So there's all of those investments that we have to get very clear about. We have to get clear about when that's going to happen and what sort of investments are going to be involved when that happens. So you're kind of at the place where I was, where it was like, okay, like when I was in a commercial kitchen, when like, okay, I'm just renting by the hour. If this gets too much now, like the next step is open my whole fucking facility. And that is a huge undertaking. But it leads to huge growth of something that's amazing. So don't get intimidated by it. I'm really excited for you, but let's get very clear about this middle step.
I've been looking to try to customize a food trailer with just drinks and, you know, with snacks. But of course, for the summertime, I would like to have something cold like popsicles and things like that.
And so I think when we look at fundraising, right, that's a nice, like, if that, because that wasn't immediately what you said when I first asked you, what would you do with money, right? But that may be in the roadmap down the line, right? And so when we look at milestones and, well, you know, that question, what could you do the next level of financing? This gets me to be able to do this, this, and this, and then here's where I want to go with the business, and in order to do that, I would need kind of X dollars, right? You want to have that food cart, you want to be able to offer different products. Probably not tomorrow, but after you get that first 10 grand, maybe you do want 100 grand so you can go a little bit bigger with it because you've now proven out the business model with that friends and family money.
Well, well, well. There was some blood today. There was quite the range, I'm not gonna lie. We had a few literal perfect scores. And then we overheard a judge say, I've never given out so many zeros. Speaking of those people, come on out. Okay, are you guys ready to find out who won? All pause, retreat.
I feel like the bar is kind of a little bit higher. So the first time if you bomb it, it's like, oh, good job, good try. And then this time it's because I didn't bomb it. I feel like I have something to uphold to. So I feel like I'm a little bit more nervous than the last time, but try not to show it, so.
Main Street Mercantile and Rusty's Dry Goods.
Oh my gosh. Literally had no idea. Like when he said my name, it took me a couple seconds to like hit my brain that it was actually me. Cause it's so awesome. I mean, it's like the dream when you come here, you wanna get to the Blox off, and it's just crazy that I did.
Smiley Aesthetics.
So one of our biggest questions, like our burning question when we came is, you want validation. Are we doing it right? Are we scaling in the right places? Are we putting money where it needs to be? Do we need to be fundraising more money, doing things like that? So a win today really is validating that we are on the right path and what we're doing is working.
Top Producer Investment Capital.
You know, all week I've been putting my heart out there and doing these pitches, and I haven't made it to the top. So it's just inspiring that they've resonated with what I have to say, and I had the opportunity to show off what I got in front of the whole audience.
The Afro Goddess Connection.
Fundraising, again, it's going to be one of my favorite days, and it was kind of like the other day with storytelling. You know, these are just my strong suits. And so I am so excited for the Blox off. I have no idea what to expect, but I'm ready.
Q Actual.
I've been grinding every day to get up there on the Blox off, and today was my day, so it's super exciting.
Atara Styles Agency. All right, bring her out. I'm going to be playing a character and explaining a short, relatively simple scenario where I'm going to be somebody, and you're going to have to hear who I am and then change your pitch to match who I am, and then essentially pitch me on an investment or a capital infusion or whatever. You have
0 time to prep and 1 minute to give the pitch, and then it will immediately be followed by 2 minutes of questions and back and forth between you and I as we haggle out a deal.
It was different because we're talking to Wes this time versus talking to the audience, but I felt more comfortable in the sense of like I didn't have to prep so much, I wasn't as much in my head. It was just because the situations were so not really realistic to the business that it kind of threw me for a loop. But that's good, that's why we're here. So it was a good test to like be on your toes and pitch yourself to a different audience.
My name is Calvin, and I am your grandfather. I'm retired, and I want to see you succeed.
Hey Gramps, how you doing? So as you know, I'm a hugely successful business owner. I've established myself. This year we're projected to do $2.5 million with what I have, and I'm completely maxed out. My goal for next year and what I'm doing, we're trying to expand it into a different path. Actually, we're trying to make a second location of what we're doing. So I'm already doing it really well. I take quality pet care and give that to parents while making technology a part of their journey. And so I'm really bringing them along for the journey. So for you, I feel like I can really elevate you and help you retire. You're probably already retired, but if you want to go ahead and live that luxury life on a boat somewhere, you know I'm with you on that. However you are, I'm going to make you money, and I would like you to come along for that journey.
Let's call a spade here. I'm going to die sooner than other people in our family. And so therefore my timeline is a little bit different. So I don't really care about retiring on a boat. And so is there anything that you can suggest structure-wise that accounts for that timeline?
Yeah, so I think it would be really cool if we did, you know, I'm really looking for more of that high value because you know you own that mansion down the street. So I think you have that fund, right?
Okay, well, let's slow it down. No. I don't have that kind of money. I think you confused me for your other grandpa. I think I've retired with much more modest means. I did well. I would like to support you. My timeline is short, but I do not have $500 million to give to you.
Okay, let's revert then. What I'm really in need for right now that I think would be, your money would be well spent, is I want to outfit my van that's currently not doing anything. We usually do dog school bus type stuff, and what I'm looking for is to convert that into a treadmill van. And what your $2,500 could do for me is to buy me a treadmill and make that profitable on a market that I don't currently capture right now.
You said $2,500?
Yes.
Okay, and then am I an investor? Like, what does that look like? Like, what's the structure here?
If you don't feel like investing in me and like gifting that because you love me as your granddaughter, what I would say is I can go ahead and give you a return back. We can maybe do it a deal where right now, you're giving me that $2,500 and I'll give you 10% on that money. Right now, interest rates are good, so maybe 15%, depending on what your appetite desires.
Blox off. I love you, Cassie. She kind of dropped the ball just a little bit. I think she might have got a little bit nervous because she knows her numbers. But I think because, again, she didn't have that opportunity to kind of write in her notebook and look things over, I think she might have dropped the ball just a little bit.
Bring her out.
Hi, my name is Vanna Lyon. I'm from Wisconsin, and I own Main Street Mercantile and Rusty's Dry Goods, which are two small gift shops. Main Street Mercantile and Rusty's Dry Goods are small gift shops located in Waterford, Wisconsin. Rusty's Dry Goods is geared more towards the men, and Main Street Mercantile is more towards the women. But the core values of both of the stores is the same in that we source everything from small American businesses, small batches. Nothing is mass produced or can be found on Amazon or in big box retailers. And we just really aim to find unique items that people can't get everywhere else. So I'm a mom, I have 3 kids, we have 2 dogs. Both of them are boxers, we're huge Boxer fans. Actually, Rusty is a dog, so that's what Rusty's Dry Goods is named after. He's a rescue boxer, and he's pretty awesome. So when I'm not working, I'm hanging out with the kids, doing Legos and playing with the dogs, things like that.
My name is Tom. I went to college with you. I'm 30 years old, and I work in finance. I make about $100,000 a year. I live in the Midwest. I have a small nest egg, and I'd like to diversify.
Hey, Tom. I'm opening up another store. I own 2 stores, Main Street Mercantile and Rusty's Dry Goods. We're looking to expand a little bit. We're looking to break out from what we have in Waterford and open up another location. I know you have some money that you've been sitting on and you're looking to diversify. just wondering, you know, kind of where you're at with that, and if you'd be interested in maybe getting in on this. I know it can be complicated with friendships and all of that. You know, we've been friends since college. So, you know, if you were interested in getting in on it, maybe you would want to give me a gift because you like me so much. And I have really awesome gifts at my store, so, you know, if you ever want anything, I can give it to you. From the store.
I'm not interested in the gift, although that was a great thing. I would say I'm more interested in some sort of an investment. My friends are investors and they say I need to diversify. I think I'm comfortable with anywhere between $10,000 and $30,000. I don't know what that would look like though.
Yeah, I think then if you're not willing to just give it to me, the next best thing would be let's work on some sort of profit share situation. But you know, as I start getting everything off the ground, I'm going to need a little bit of time to figure it all out, you know, and make sure that I'm not getting myself in some trouble financially. So I would propose maybe we could put off the payments for about a year. And then after about a year, once I've really gotten some traction and everything with my business, you know, I would propose maybe like a 10% payback each week with my profits of sales from the business.
So 10%, so I wait a year.
Yeah.
And then after that, then 10% of your profits every week comes to me.
Right, and then, you know, we can figure out what you're comfortable with after I've paid back everything that I owe you. We would, you know, figure something out to maybe lower that 10%.
We'd figure it out later, or we figure it out now? I'd like to figure it out later.
Yeah, we can punch that a little bit.
Okay, yeah.
To figure out my valuation.
Oh, okay. So when do you think I'll be so if I have to wait a year and then it's only 10%, how long do you think it will take me to break even? And how much of a check am I writing?
So if you have between 10 and 20, let's just go right in the middle and say 15. Get you that 15,000 back, I'd say definitely within the year. And then after the year, let's figure out what percentage you'd like just as kind of like your investment.
Deal, 3 minutes, done.
I feel like it went well. I think I had a good scenario, like a pretty relatable scenario, one that could have actually happened in real life.
Yeah. Bring her out.
Got it.
I'm Mary.
And I'm Carla.
And we're twins. And we are the founders and owners of Smiley Aesthetics.
So Smiley Aesthetics is a mobile med spa. We offer concierge Botox and injectables. What makes us unique is the fact that we have both brick and mortar med spas along with over 50 injectors that service a variety of areas in several states.
My life outside of entrepreneurship is very busy. I have a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old with 2 dogs, and I have a wonderful husband who is so supportive and helpful. I am super into exercising and health. I love to read, but my family is the center of my world and my why, really, for this business for sure.
So my life outside of this business is similar to hers. I have 2 boys, they're 6 and 4. Like her, avid exerciser. My husband is a basketball coach, which makes several months of the year very busy for us. We do have 2 dogs and an extensive family with 2 other sisters and just a big old group of cousins and all kinds of things. We are very family centric. Our mother is a part of it. Her mother-in-law is a part of it. So we really keep the family thing at the center of all that we do.
My name is Sarah, and I am your sister-in-law. I've been watching old clips of Mr. Wonderful and Grant Cardone, and they always talk about passive income, which I think would be cool.
Hey Sarah, my name is Carla, and my company is Smiley Aesthetics. And this is ridiculously easy for you. Let me tell you why you should invest in my company. We offer multiple things. We have med spas, we have mobile injectors, we have training, we have innovations, we have a patent pending, we have all of these things. But the way I'm gonna structure this deal for you is I'm gonna give you a piece of equity of the whole freaking thing. I need a large chunk of money, but I'm worth a lot of money. So in exchange for your $500,000, I'm gonna give you 5% of my company. But what that looks like for you, we're currently valued at $3.1 million, so I'm giving you a freaking discount. No, I'm not. I'm not giving you a discount. Still, I didn't say that. We're currently valued at $10 million. So I'm gonna give you 5% equity in the company, but I'm looking for more than a partner. So I need you to be involved, and I want you to be energetic and spread our brand. And yeah, we're gonna do great things together.
I am fairly wealthy, not wealthy enough to write a $500,000 check. Is there any way that we could lower it in some capacity? And also, I'm not quite sure about my definition of passive income, but I'm not 100% sure that I would get that with an equity investment. I've been told I need mailbox money.
So what we could do is that is a large chunk of money. You're right. I should have known that about you, Sarah. I know what my brother does. So I should have known. So what we can do is we can kind of barter. You know, like what we really need and what is important in our business is before and afters. It's reviews. It's referrals. I'm gonna do your face, and girl, I got you. I know what you need. Little cheeks, little lips. You know what I mean? We'll take care of you though. And when you look beautiful, you're my walking billboard. And so that in and of itself is going to bring us customer, going to bring us value, going to bring us revenue. And for that, you know, if you'll just be the walking billboard and face of this company, we can trade those services, and we can talk a little bit different about what $500,000 looks like.
Okay, so you're saying that if I let you fill up my face with all that stuff, then you're gonna give me equity in your company?
No, because I'm worth more than that. But we can trade those services, and I'll give you those services. And you know, as we add things on, you just be that walking billboard for us,
So
and we'll
there's
trade those.
no capital is exchanging in any way, shape, or form.
No, because I know what my brother does. So you're right. That's not really the right fit for you.
No, he got a new job, a side hustle. He's doing pretty well. I would like to provide some money in some capacity.
Okay. Well, in that case, we'll do.
Let's say I've got 75 grand.
Okay.
Roughly.
Okay.
You got 20 seconds.
75 grand. We can still trade services. We can still give you equity. I don't know. I mean.
You went from $500,000 to just give me a free, stuff. So.
Space shit.
And time.
Shit. Sorry. Honestly, I just missed the boat on what was being asked, which is part of the game.
All right, bring him out.
My name's Ryan Tennell. I'm from Austin, Texas, and I own Top Producer Investment Capital. We work with high net worth individuals, entrepreneurs, realtors, and loan officers to grow their net worth from a 7-figure to an 8-figure number so that they can invest passively in real estate and focus on their main job and main career. Well, I grew up in Dallas, Texas, and I currently live in Austin. I'm a UT Longhorn, and I'm a big fan of the city and the town. I spend a lot of time for fun doing snowboarding out in Breckenridge and Vail, Colorado. A lot of times I'll bring my laptop and I'll spend an entire month out there just working and sending emails and phone calls and then hitting the slopes any chance I get. I also love staying active. I love playing any kind of sports, football, pickleball, racquetball, and hitting the gym, doing a little bit of weights or circuit training and CrossFit. So all of those activities, anything that gets the blood flowing and gets the mind active and in a good flow state, get me excited about life.
My name is Amanda. I am a professional angel investor that owns part of 20 startups around town. I'm interested in learning how I can join your team. I have to warn you that I'm typically aggressive around valuations.
Well, Amanda, my name is Ryan Tennell with Top Producer Investment Capital. We help investors invest passively in real estate across Texas. And if you're looking to invest in our company, you can either invest passively as a client in our real estate deals, earning 15 to 20% average annual return for 5-year holds, or in our company. And we typically, last year, we had $500,000 of top line growth on a model of EBITDA. I would expect our value to be about 5 times that. So if we have a $2 million valuation, that's kind of where I picked that. We could use about $100,000 to $200,000 of capital injection to help me hire 1 to 2 new employees for next year. And you could also use a convertible note if you think the valuation should be lower.
Okay, so there's 2 opportunities. One would get me, I kind of have a choice. One is like in an equity investment, a long-term play in your business in general. And the other one is, it would be a little bit more passive that would kind of chip away. Mm-hmm. Okay, and then tell me more about some of the properties that you're investing in. So what's our collateral gonna be?
Sure, so we typically invest in apartment complexes in Texas between Dallas and San Antonio, 10 to 100 unit properties that are C-class value add apartments. We buy mismanaged properties, then we renovate them, and then we sell them for profit, typically within 3 to 5 year hold, and then we double the limited partners investment over that time frame.
And doubling the investment partners is on the one if I choose the more passive side. What is the timeline and the exit strategy if I do the equity in the holding company?
Sure, so I plan to hold this company long term and eventually hire 5 to 10 employees and then hire a CEO. And at that point, we would slowly have a partnership where we slowly have more equity transferred to the angel investor over time and pay me out to buy me out of my own company eventually, or we could sell it to another firm over time.
Would I be getting paid out, like if you're slowly going to get paid out over time to some other employee or other CEO, would I get paid out at that time with you, or would I still own part of the holding company?
We'd be either one would be okay with me. You could, I mean, it seems like the easiest you would just slowly gain ownership and just pay me either all at once or in installments.
Is there any opportunity for some sort of a larger company or private equity firm to come in and give some sort of a big multiple for the holding company as opposed to probably the lower multiple that would be given to some sort of a future employee?
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, they could come in at, I'd say probably in 10 years once we've reached a large product market fit, a lot of scale, and then yeah, if we agreed on valuation, I'd sell right then.
And your valuation, I agree, so I think that the valuation is lower currently, and so you're thinking that we use the convertible note as the main reason for what?
Sure, you could, yeah. If you think the valuation's lower than $2 million, I'd be happy to pay you, 5% on your money. Let's say you come in for $100,000, I'll pay you 5% on that indefinitely until a investor, maybe 5 years from the future, has a final valuation on the property, at which point your capital will be equity based on the final valuation.
Top producers nailed it. He was great. In class, I noticed that right away that he knew what he was talking about and could probably speak to it better than I could.
All right, come on out. My name is Robert. I'm a successful dentist. I'm looking to invest in some local startup companies, but I don't know the first thing about it.
Hi, Robert. It's so nice to meet you. So if you're looking for somewhere to invest your money that you know is safe, you can definitely invest your money with me. Over the last 3 years, I've made $700,000 from my line of tarot and oracle cards that supports the melanated community in very different ways of spirituality and psychological development. At this moment, we've actually had those products be picked up by a major production company, and they're going to be able to put those into mainstream market. We will be able to use your money to fund our doll project that will intertwine with that, and then we can explode. And from just those dolls, we'll make $449,000 back, and that will roll into what we've done with the decks, and we'll be able to create more toys and really dominate this $440 billion market.
How much money are we talking?
We're talking $50,000, and that would be used to fund our first round of dolls. That would cover the manufacturing, it would cover quality control because we will be getting them from overseas, and it will also cover the molding and shipping costs.
And so you're giving me two choices. I don't like choices. Tell me what, I'm comfortable with the 50. You hit me right where I think that's about a good number. Pick one for me of a structure.
I would like for you to stay as a part of the business if you would like to. If you really support the mission and you think that...
I do. I'm down. So what does that mean? What I own?
That means I would like for you to do it as an angel investment, and we could convert it to equity.
What? And so it'd be, I'd own equity. I would own equity. I would own $50,000 worth of equity in your business.
Yes, you would own $50,000 of equity into my business.
What percentage does that mean?
Well, right now I'm valuing my business at $1 million, and I am basing that upon the fact we've made $250,000 consistently over the past few years. And so that would leave you at, I think, 20%.
5%. I'm a dentist, but good at math.
Sorry.
Is there any way that you'd do it for 10%?
Any way I can do it for 10%? How about 15?
Deal. Time.
Super happy about that. Andrea did great.
All right, come on out. My name is Penny, and I am your best friend. I'd like to support your startup, but I'm not rich. Is there any way for me to support you and maybe make a little bit of money in the process?
Penny, you know I love you, girl. We did high school, college together. You are the godmother of my babies. Like, I love you. You already know. So for you to even be like, oh, I want to invest in your business, that means the world to me. Like, your support means the world to me. And here's why you should, because we're both plus size women. So imagine you're a plus size woman, okay? So we're both plus size women, and you know the struggle. But guess what? I want you to get on this train, baby, because this is the wave. With plus size fashion industry, In 2016, it was valued at $20 billion, but in 2020, the valuation of plus size retail went up to $24 billion. It's only going to increase. So what I'm doing, where we're going, the demand is there. We have the most dollars in this industry. We spend the most money, yet they try to subtract us out of the equation. I'm ready to add luxury to the plus size conversation. So you can get in with me or not, but baby, I take them small checks, so I would love your support if you would give me a donation.
Time. Oh, a donation? Okay, so is this a donation, or is this, how do I make a little bit of money in the process? Like, not a lot, and then what do you mean by small check?
Small check, about 1,000 I think would be good. Because we are friends and I value our friendship, I don't think us doing a structured deal is the best bet. I'd rather take you on a private jet with me and you give me this gift and I'm able to thank you in that way versus you investing in my company. I don't think that that's the best fit. I value our friendship much more.
Okay, that's very fair. I value our friendship a lot too. The $1,000, that's an interesting structure, but just for the sake of argument, let's say I was able to get my hands on $5,000. What would that structure look like? Would there be any way that I could make a little bit of money with that, or am I only being offered the gift or the donation?
You know, for $5,000, I think, I love our friendship, but I think I could change my mind a little bit for $5,000. So for $5,000, I'm willing to do that, and I think we can come up with like a type of loan where we come at a later time where I'm able to pay it back once I can finally break even on that money. So I think that would be the best solution. Instead of me paying you back right away, if you could give me a little bit of time to pay you back once I'm able to make that $5K and then some, I think that would be a great solution, and then we could celebrate.
Approximately how long do you think it will take for you to break even on that 5K?
5K, 2 months.
And then I start getting paid back after that?
Absolutely. So you'll have your money in 90 days.
And then I would like to make a little bit of profit in this, so what would I get back?
We would have to discuss an agreed upon amount of how much interest you would like to put on that loan.
What do you think about 18%?
For you, Penny, I'll take it.
Thank you. So I think she did great, but if I were to have a one-on-one with her, I would want to really assess like how much money does she actually need. I personally think she needs 25 to 50K. And it was the like friend thing for $1,000 because she was also like, Penny, I don't know if I want to take any money from you at all. You could give me $1,000. And I was like, wrong answer. No, girl.
All right, bring them out.
Hi, I'm Aaron Quinones. I'm from Seattle, Washington, and my company is QActual. I'm a former Special Forces operator with the United States Marine Corps, 1st Anglico, and now I build digital mental health tools to help people overcome trauma, build mental resiliency, and prevent suicide. So I'm a part-time missionary, so I travel all over the world and I build churches and schools and orphanages, I dig wells, do feeding programs, and I speak and teach on mental health. And that's what really helped me overcome the trauma I experienced, was learning that there's healing through serving God and serving other people. And so now I teach that all over the world. So I fly from here, I will fly to Cambodia and I'll work on a project in Cambodia, and then later in the year, I'll work in Malawi and Africa, and probably at the end of the year, I'll probably be somewhere in Nepal.
My name is Weston Bergman. I am a reality television star. I love startups. I particularly love tech, and I am trying to build one of the largest portfolios of technology in the world. I've heard a little bit about you. I don't know enough. I'm interested in investing. Tell me what you got.
Well, hi, Wes. My name is Aaron Quinones. I'm a former Special Forces operator with the Marine Corps. And when I came back from Iraq, I was struggling with mental health and almost ended my own life a few years ago. So the Lord put me in a position to help other people with their mental health. And so we created a digital platform that increases mental resiliency and helps prevent suicide. We went through a clinical study last year. We had a 90% reduction in readmittance to the emergency room for suicidal ideations, and not one person attempted suicide while using our technology. We're successful because we use a peer support platform, and there's a study that came out that said 40% of people who receive peer support don't need to go on to see additional counseling. So with the clinical study and the team that we have, we are set to take this to the next level and save lives all across America.
Okay, so how much money are we talking?
Right now, I need $50,000 we have about a $1 million evaluation right now. We need $50,000 to be able to create a more robust infrastructure around our lead generation and lead nurturing system. And I would like to structure that deal where it would be an equity deal that would give me the ability to buy back the equity deal. So that way I can maintain operational control and integrity of the data that we're creating so we can safeguard people's data and not exploit it.
Yeah, okay, so if that's the case, so you're buying in at a $1 million valuation now, but then what's the buyback valuation?
The buyback valuation would be, so you'd be getting 5%, so that'd be 55,000 is what you would get back. But I would be up to negotiate a higher percentage if you would leverage some of your star power to help bring other celebrities onto the platform to encourage people to value their mental health through unlockable content that we're looking to build out in Q4 of this next year.
So I risk $50,000, it could go all the way to zero, right?
Yes.
And the best I can ever do is I can make $5,000 profit on that.
Unless you want to come in at an additional percentage if you want to leverage your star power. I'm open to negotiation.
Oh, I always leverage my star power, honey. But I don't like this whole buyback thing. Either you don't have the numbers right or I'm not feeling safe, especially because I don't want any power with people's data or anything. So you don't have to safeguard me from that. Trust me, I'm never going to ask for a single fucking password. But I can't do the buyback thing. If I'm risking $50,000, I think I need to be in it for the long run.
I think that's negotiable. I think we can keep you in. We could remove the buyback. I just want to be able to make sure that I maintain the operational control of the data.
I'll do the buyback, but I want the second valuation to be at $5 million. You have 3 seconds to decide.
I think that's doable, Wes.
Deal.
Deal.
Bye.
The Q Actual I was very proud of him. He did really, really well. I put him at a B+. He didn't nail every single question, but he illustrated himself in his strengths that I saw earlier in the day. And so I was very proud of where he ended up in the end.
All right, bring him out. Oh, shit. What you guys just went through is incredibly hard. To be able to pitch on a dime in this environment to a fake scenario like that and to be able to play along and lean into it is a really big deal. And for that, I say everyone crushed it. And a lot of things were taken from the class, including all of your experience, and I was just very impressed. With that being said, what do we got?
So in 7th place was Smile Aesthetics.
In 6th place, Vanna with Main Street Mercantile.
And in 5th place, Cassie, All Tall Trade.
In 4th place, Hairstyles.
In 3rd place, Q Actual.
In 2nd place, Andrea, the Afro Goddess Connector.
That means 1st place went to Top Producer.
You know, I think everyone expected me to do well in the fundraising round because that's my specialty. But I know Atara Styles has been getting first for quite a while, so I think she's got a little bigger target on her back. But I'm gunning for her too. I've been trying to get up there every day, so we'll see. Tomorrow will be an intense day.
Fellow real estate entrepreneur, and he just knocked the socks off of everything and everyone.
He is an example of one of the few people who knows money, and he knows percentages, and he knows deals, and he knows stuff because that's what he does.
He just nailed off answers with confidence. He knew his subject matter. And the biggest thing that he did really well, different than anybody others, was the deal matching.
My boy Top Producers won the Blox off, of course, because that's what he does for a living. So it really was expected.
If he didn't win, I don't think he'd be doing his job very well. So he just knew every answer, every single thing Wes threw at him. And what was really unique to see was Wes how because he knew everything, Wes went really deep and asked him more challenging questions because of his level of expertise, and he just nailed it.
It is now time to discuss the leaderboard and who will be wearing the red jerseys tomorrow. We have a tie in there somewhere, which means 4 total teams will be wearing the red jersey, and I'm not going to disclose where. Cue actual. Casey with all pause retreat. Laura with merriment. Atara Styles Agency. Okay, so here is the deal. We have one more day of competition, and trust me, the leaderboard is as close as it gets. Tomorrow is going to decide it all. You guys have come so far to get here. It has been a long, hard week, and I guarantee you, you will be incredibly mad at yourself if you don't bring everything that you've got tomorrow. I'm out. Bye!
Though I live in Southern California now, I'm originally from New York, Staten Island. I moved across the country with my boyfriend, now husband, and because by that time I knew I wanted to go into energy, he used software, California made sense, and had my first job out of college out in California, and I was laid off after 10 months. I was working my ass off. I was doing the onboarding training to get into the energy division before I even got that position, and didn't get it, got laid off. And right off the bat, I kind of just lost trust for corporations, how do you bounce back from that? This isn't safe, this isn't a safe route anymore. Hi, my name is Hannah Seeger. My business is Itty Bit Better, and I'm from Santa Ana, California. Itty Bit Better is in the space of building science and energy sustainability in healthy spaces. I do consulting, process improvement, and education. Outside of work, I have a husband, Justin, and a cat named Minerva. Everyone calls me a crazy cat lady, although I only have one. I take her on walks sometimes. And I also love to make stuff, and that's the reason I went into engineering in the first place. I'm a very much big DIYer. For my wedding, I didn't hire a designer or florist or anything. I made all my own decorations, my own bouquet, everything. Also, if there's a problem around the house, I love to find the solution, or maybe I can make something to solve that problem. For example, when we used to live in an apartment, we had some unwanted pests coming up to the balcony of our apartment, and so I made a motion-activated squirt gun that squirted back and forth and shot the pests away.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
You all have been brought here because I have identified you all as potential of the most investable or most valuable businesses on the Blox.